It was the moment every single parent fears. Jennifer, a successful businesswoman and single mother, had spent the past few years building her empire from the ground up. But with success came sacrifices. One of the hardest was not being there for her young son, Timmy. As a mother, Jennifer wanted nothing more than to be present for every milestone in his life. But between late-night meetings and business trips, she felt more like a stranger in her own home than the mother she dreamed of being. Then came the day she took a step she never imagined she would. She decided to install a camera in her home, a hidden one, just to see what was happening when she wasn't around. What she didn't know was that this decision would change everything and reveal the true meaning of kindness. Before we dive into the story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Kindness Action for more heartwarming stories that remind us of the power of kindness in everyday life. Now, let's get into the story of Jennifer, Timmy, and the unexpected hero who changed their lives forever. Jennifer had always been a hands-on mom. But when Timmy was born, she found herself juggling a new business venture that demanded every ounce of her attention. She thought she could handle it, but over time, the balance grew harder and harder to maintain. Despite her best efforts, she couldn't escape the gnawing feeling that something was missing. Timmy, on the other hand, had grown used to the silence that often filled their home. He'd learned to be independent, to entertain himself during the long hours when his mom was working, and to find comfort in his own company. But Jennifer knew that deep down, her son longed for more than just a quick hug before bed or a rushed conversation in between meetings. She saw it in the way his eyes would light up when he'd mention school, friends, or something exciting from his day, as if hoping for her to be more involved. One night, after a particularly long day, Jennifer decided that she needed to know what her son's world looked like when she wasn't around. She wasn't sure if it was fear, guilt, or just curiosity, but she had a camera installed in their living room, hidden carefully so Timmy wouldn't know. The next day, as Jennifer sat in her office, reviewing business reports, she turned on the camera feed. She was expecting to see him glued to his tablet or playing alone. What she saw instead took her breath away. Timmy was sitting on the couch, scrolling through his phone, his eyes glued to the screen. Then, out of nowhere, there was a knock on the door. Jennifer's heart skipped a beat when she saw it was David, one of her employees. David had been working for her company for a few years now. He was a quiet, kind-hearted single dad who always made sure to keep a low profile. He didn't ask for much, and though Jennifer knew he was struggling, she admired his hard work. What David did next, however, was something she never expected. He walked into the house as if he had done it 1,000 times before. With a smile on his face, he greeted Timmy and offered him a snack from the kitchen. Timmy looked up from his phone and smiled shyly. Then, something incredible happened. David pulled up a chair beside Timmy, and they started talking. Jennifer watched in disbelief as David patiently listened to Timmy's stories about school, his friends, and the new hobby he had picked up, painting. Timmy was opening up in a way Jennifer hadn't seen in months. David wasn't just a visitor, he was offering something much more valuable, his time and attention. The moment broke Jennifer's heart. She realized that in her pursuit of success, she had neglected the most important thing in her life, her son. Timmy was craving connection, not just with her, but with someone who could provide him with the attention he deserved. As the days passed, Jennifer continued to watch the camera feed. David's visits became more frequent. He wasn't just stopping by to drop off work or to take a quick break, he was showing up because he cared. He brought laughter into their home, helped Timmy with his schoolwork, and even encouraged him to pursue his love for painting. Slowly but surely, David became a father figure for Timmy, someone who filled the space left by her absence. One evening, after watching yet another of David's visits, Jennifer decided she couldn't just stand by and watch. She invited David over for dinner. When he arrived, she thanked him for everything he had done for her son. But what David said next left her speechless. "I'm just doing what anyone would do," David said, his voice soft but sincere. "Timmy's a good kid. He just needed someone to listen. You're doing the best you can, Jennifer. Sometimes, we just need each other more than we think." It was in that moment that Jennifer realized how much kindness could change the course of someone's life. David didn't owe her anything. He had no obligation to spend time with her son or to step in when she couldn't be there. But he did it anyway, simply out of the goodness of his heart. Jennifer's heart swelled with gratitude, and she knew that she couldn't let this kind of kindness go unnoticed. She made a promise to herself that from then on, she would be more present for Timmy, no matter how busy life got. And as for David, she knew she had found not just a dedicated employee but a true friend who had shown her the power of kindness. Sometimes, the greatest gifts we can give are the ones that don't cost a thing. Kindness, attention, and compassion are what truly make the world a better place. Just like David, each of us has the power to make a difference in someone else's life, sometimes when we least expect it. If this story touched your heart, share it with others, and remember, kindness is a gift that keeps on giving. Spread it, and watch the world around you transform. The course of someone's life. David didn't owe her anything. He had no obligation to spend time with her son or to step in when she couldn't be there. But he did it anyway, simply out of the goodness of his heart. Jennifer's heart swelled with gratitude, and she knew that she couldn't let this kind of kindness go unnoticed. She made a promise to herself that from then on, she would be more present for Timmy, no matter how busy life got. And as for David, she knew she had found not just a dedicated employee but a true friend who had shown her the power of kindness. Sometimes, the greatest gifts we can give